I think we've always lived with our old things and our old ways and our customs and traditions, and we are a very traditional city.
Well, I became involved in the tour industry because of my love for the city. Every cobblestone, every brick, everything connected with Charleston is close to my heart.
It's different. It's not the same close feeling. All of us used to go to school together and know each other, and it was a little town city. But now we have many, many other people, and now we've become more tourist-oriented.
Growing up here, people have always been gracious. And why did that stop? Greed and volume on the part of the commercial tourist industry.
Step R means go left, step G means go right. Punctuated by a little whack on the rear. This area we're going through right now is called the City Market, where they sell arts and crafts and souvenirs, in case you haven't noticed. They got everything you want, nothing you need in here.
What they call us in 1973, I think, the South's best preserved secret. All right, well, the secret's out, Bubba.
My name is Tony Yeomans, and I'm the general manager of Old Town Carriage Company in Charleston, South Carolina. People come here, they visit us for what they call the classic, one day and the one-day stay, and they spend some money, they have a great time, but I believe they experience something so unique that they think in their back of their mind that, we're going to come back, and we're going to come back for a much longer stay. The barn opens up with the first human being getting here as early as 6 or 6:30 in the morning, making sure the animals are vertical and doing what horses are supposed to be doing at that time of the day. Working with these big draft horses, I mean, most of us just want to take them home at night. Every single one of us has a particular favorite. Without the animals, we have no show. Old Town Carriage Company is a walking tour company if we don't have our equine friends.
Fritz is ready to go on a carriage tour today. So he's just waiting for his driver to show up.
The carriage drivers start coming in as early as 8 and 8:30, and then we hit the streets and start looking for patrons.
All right, before anybody goes anywhere, we're going to check in with the Tourism Commission, which regulates the carriage industry here in Charleston. And boy, is it regulated.
The first rule is never more than 20 carriages out in the historic neighborhood at any one time.
That'll cause major league traffic problems. The residents get mighty upset with it.
The second rule is those carriages will be sent out randomly by a lottery system.
And then what they're going to do is put some balls in a machine up there on the wall, turn it on, they'll jump around where it pops up, associated with a tag with a number on it.
But if y'all want another route, take this guy's hat and pass up $500. I'll go wherever the hell you want. Because you see, as a city licensed tour guide, that's what my fine will be if I'm caught out of the zone I'm supposed to be in.
What color should we be rooting for?
You don't root here because there's no such thing as a bad tour route. There's only bad tour guides and bad attitudes. I don't think you're going to be disappointed, though.
The one we have right here will take us along the Battery. Just one portion of the city. It will keep us in the oldest part of the city, though.
Okay. Y'all, that's my favorite tour. You're going to like this a lot.
Hey, in case you haven't guessed, you won the lottery. We call this the top shelf tour.
Of course, I tell everybody that.
There was an article in the newspaper written by the president of the Save the City committee, and his name is Jack Simmons. He's an OBGYN, and we've met on the field of battle many times.
I'd like to look at Charleston as a green lawn that we all enjoy, and you like to take your shoes off and walk through the grass and have a picnic. But once you have a rock concert of 100,000 people on that lawn, it's destroyed, and the very thing that you come to enjoy is gone forever and perhaps irretrievable. In the 50s, there were, couples would come, and people still dressed in coat and ties, and you didn't see the flip-flop tourist and the T-shirts and the fanny packs. That's just a different type of industry that we would rather not attract. Myrtle Beach is much more suited to that kind of volume.
This is Meeting Street. This is considered the most prestigious street in the city of Charleston to live on. This is the Beverly Hills of Charleston. We're going to be on now.
People complain about the carriages when they're stacked up on Meeting Street, 4 or 5 in a row, and you're in your car going somewhere and maybe late and can't get by. And then the stench from the urine, which gets in the asphalt.
A corporate lawyer by the name of Mr. Howell bought this house, but he didn't use it as his residency. He only used it as a party house. He had electricity. Whoop, Dan. Now Dan's had what we call a radiator leak here, so what we're going to do, we're going to drop one of these little flag things down. That's what we call a urine marker. And the sanitation guy is going to come along. He's going to see this little flag. He's going to spray it away with a hose. So we'll drop this down here.
My name is Greg Price, and I'm a contractor for the city of Charleston. We have a equine sanitation bid, and in that bid it requires us to clean behind the horse carriages for the different types of spills that they may have, either urine or feces spills. That's what we are, and that's what we do, Low Country Equine Sanitation. This was a mule here, and you can tell the difference because when a horse lets go, it'll cover the area. It'll be very distinct. The city of Charleston attracts a lot of tourists. When it started to grow, the residents and the business owners in the area went to the city and made a lawful complaint because it does create a hazard, and feces and the urine, the smell of it in the hot temperatures can get to where they're unbearable. So where I fit into it is I'm right in the middle of it.
Once you do something in Charleston, they'll forget it. They say that how many Charlestonians does it take to change a light bulb?
And it takes 3. 1 to change the light bulb, and 2 to talk about how wonderful the old one was. And that's in a nutshell, how people feel about Charleston.
Everything in the top of here belonged to Jefferson Davis over here and Robert E. Lee over here. In Charleston, we still live in the past, and we like it. And perhaps we don't even realize how different life is in other parts of our own country today. This is comfortable to me, and to me it seems wrong when I go other places. Right now I'm the President General of the United Daughters of the Confederacy. That's the national president, and that means I deal with 20-some thousand very opinionated Southern ladies all over the country. There's a feeling here that you really can't describe. Tourists have been hunting us. I'm very pleased at the amount of tourists that have made the effort to come and find us here. They're looking for us, and we're looking for them. The first way it would be different if I gave a carriage tour. is that they would be hearing Charlestonese, the real Charleston language, not somebody with a Brooklyn accent talking about Charleston. I find that very irritating, and I hear it and see it all the time. They do have to learn and pass a test that the information they give is genuine. I think they give little different slants sometime on things.
So we're starting now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Good afternoon, I'm Sarah Purnell. I'm your carriage tour guide today on this bus.
You see those big green bushes up here on the right? Those are called oleanders. And some people say that the oleander plants were the reason for Charleston's low divorce rate.
Right up here we have the College of Charleston, which was founded in
because the oleander flower is poisonous. They put it in the tea. So you have to watch out if you're around a southern lady and I wouldn't make her mad.
Can I start over?
Purposes of this is not only to find out if y'all are knowledgeable, but to find out if you guys have picked up any bad information along the way. Oleander bushes, that stuff is kind of, that I would preface most of that stuff that you're saying with the oleander tea to be legend. I'd say local legend has it, but if you're going to say something like that, I would say local legend has it that women would give their husbands tea. And again, with like what I was saying before, if you get a resident walking by and you say, "Oh, that's the reason why Charleston has a low divorce rate," they're not going to necessarily like that very much.
I'm going to anticipate 3 questions. I get on every single tour, whether there's 2 people on here or 20. Doesn't matter where you're from, I get the same 3 questions every time. So let's get them out of the way right now. Number 1, let's start with real estate. No, I'm not a real estate agent. No, I don't know how much the houses cost. So if you see a for sale sign, your guess is as good as mine. Let's just say millions and leave it at that, shall we? 2, yes, they are privately owned single-family homes with real people living in them. 3, yes, they are rich people. I have no idea how they made their money, and I'm sorry to say that in this part of Charleston, I do not know any of them. Does that about cover it? Okay, good. Now we can just enjoy.
It's losing its residential feel, becoming more and more a museum piece. My name's David Farrow, and I'm a Charlestonian, number 1. About 12 years ago, videographer Pete Peters and I decided that we would put together a video tour of Charleston, an actual somebody giving a tour of Charleston.
Walking around Charleston, listen to the history. 320 years.
Being a tour guide, I of course had a certain amount of boosterism. I've lost that.
Now, by the way, we are a living city, one thing that should be pointed out.
I quit last year. I quit giving tours because they're just, it's kind of like seagulls fighting over a mullet. You come to Charleston for its uniqueness, but all the different restaurants and attractions and tours change to fit the people, not the other way around. And I think, why do people have to go somewhere to get away from something and then demand that the place they go be exactly where they came from? I don't really see the point in that. But that's money.
You can tell people and get them to believe that if you take this home, you've taken home a portion of people's heritage and history. This is all you need to capture that.
Run, run, run. No, you got to run, you have to run.
My name is Marquetta Larice Goodwine. I'm known as Queen Quet. I'm the chiefess of the Gullah Geechee Nation. So I'm officially the spokesperson for my people. In the past 20 to 30 years, the influx of tourism has caused people to come here for any number of things. The same thing that fueled chattel slavery is fueling that industry, and that's greed. It's all about the shiny thing. The thing is to teach the people who are coming now who we actually are. Get them at the table to communicate with us. Because there are plenty of people out here now who are doing presentations under the guise of saying they're Gullah. And because people see that they are of African descent, they hire them. So we won't call names, but there are a lot. There's a proliferation right now because Gullah has become en vogue and Gullah has become a commodity. And of course, it's positive in that there's economic empowerment, further economic development that can be gained through visitors coming in, but we want the visitors to respect our house when they do come.
Well, about 5 years ago, 4 of us felt that the quality of life in Charleston was deteriorating because of the large influx of volumes of visitors, volumes of traffic, and many other things. And we sat around and, instead of complaining about it, decided to do something about it and formed a grassroots group called the Committee to Save the City, which over 5 years has grown to about 500 members. We felt that people needed recognition, and so we came up with what we call the Three Sisters Awards. The Three Sisters were 3 very small background houses, and in the 60s they were torn down so that the owner could avoid paying property taxes. Nobody thought much about these houses till they were gone and you see the empty lot. So we devised these awards to honor people that have contributed to our quality of life, perhaps not in a prominent way, but in a background way. I've been called many things, but I think my favorite was by my friend, the former councilman Richard Hagerty, urban terrorist.
It's pretty simple. You've got people that love to show off their homes and love to have people come to Charleston, and then you've got some people that don't. And that's the bottom, that's the bottom line.
Charleston has retained its charm but lost its character, and I think we're starting to lose our charm.
I think the problem with the change is tourism dollars, and I don't believe in selling out our history and our way of life for money.
The irony for us is that there are a lot of Caucasian people who are Southerners who have the same ideas about it that we do, that our lives were so much more compacted, so much more structured, so much more preserved when we didn't have this influx.
It hurts our experience of living in a neighborhood. It hurts their pocketbook, and that's the conflict. And we're much more interested in preserving the ambiance and the feel of Charleston. They're interested in preserving their income.
My responsibilities are basically to keep these 2 operations up and running and making money. You know, that's the bottom line. That's why America is here. That's why Charleston was established for business purposes, not religious purposes, but to make money, to keep that bottom line healthy. But gosh, downtown Charleston, this is still a living, breathing museum, and people live here. These are their homes, these are houses.